the investor's guide to Memphis real estate. I want to make sure that I get that crystal clear for anyone that's listening and you can't find deals in your neighborhood or you can't find deals wherever you're living. What I'm talking about is Memphis, Tennessee. You know, the title of the podcast, should give it away, but I want to make sure that we understand that we're talking about Memphis and the deals. And when I'm telling you to get busy and get active, I'm not telling you to get busy and get active in some other market that I'm not familiar with.
You're only familiar with Memphis.
I'm only familiar with Memphis and the surrounding areas. And what I'm telling you is if you're a buyer here, thought about buyer here, you should get comfortable with this market and you should get in here and find a deal. Hey guys, welcome to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and as always, I'm with Douglas Skipworth. How are you, buddy?
Hey man, I'm doing great.
We're bringing you the podcast to give you the boots on the ground knowledge to be a successful real estate investor here in Memphis, Tennessee. Please like and subscribe to the Investor's Guide of Memphis Real Estate wherever you listen to podcasts. We're all over Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We have a lot of fun on that, so please go follow us there. Show sponsor are listed on your screen. We wouldn't be able to do this show, run our rental business, or do any of this without these guys. Triumph Construction, River City Title, Cortland Financial, CrestCore Property Management, and then Will Griffin over at Griffin, Clift, Everton, and Mashmeyer. I help buyers and sellers every day. Dean at CrestCore.com will get you that buyer profile to fill out. The hot topic right now is selling in this market. If you would like to have a free evaluation of your property, Dean at CrestCore.com, and I'll be happy to give you that. How's it going?
Great, man.
Yeah.
You?
It's going really well.
Good.
From a real estate standpoint, everything's going pretty good. Mm-hmm. Our topic today, we're going to dive right into it, is everybody needs to get comfortable. You need to settle in.
Gotcha.
I don't believe that we're going to see any kind of drastic change the rest of this year.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I don't believe from the reports that we're getting about the interest rates coming out of the Fed meetings that we're going to get a reduction. We could very well get a small hike, but essentially stay the same through the rest of the year. So I don't believe we're going to see a major, unless there's some kind of world catastrophe that none of us could predict. But I don't see, certainly. But I don't see pricing being influenced. I don't see rent being influenced. I feel we've used our pins before for the pendulum swinging before. I believe we're stuck.
Just right down there at the bottom.
We're right here, right now. And a lot of people might think to themselves, why buy now or why be involved now or that sort of thing. So I don't know. I wanted to talk about kind of the state of the union, so to speak, of where we're at and what we're in.
I like that.
I think this is going to be our market for the foreseeable future. And, the first question is, what does that mean? Like I said, rates will stay the same, possibly a hike. The market's going to shift to a buyer's market. Believe it or not, we're going to get to where buyers are going to be a little bit more in charge as we go. So one of my suggestions is going to be to start, if you're going to sell, you should sell now. I wouldn't wait 6 months. I'd try to get up under this before it gets a little worse and inventory climbs even more and the buyers that are out there become sharkier than what they are now.
Gotcha. And I think you just touched on something that we've mentioned before, but just for new listener or just to reiterate, inventory, that's just the number of houses that are on the market right now, 5,000 plus in Memphis area. We haven't had 5,000 houses on the market at one time available for sale since 2016. So it's been 10 years. When it was in 2016, it was around 5,000 and then it kind of went down. Down through COVID, down after COVID. And then it's gradually come back up. And now it's where it was 10 years ago.
And I wouldn't say we're oversaturated. I would say this is fairly healthy. I mean, in my opinion, I think it is. You might have some data that shows it differently, but I feel like in this market, we don't have just houses coming out of our ears, but I feel like this is healthy.
So good point. What you just know because you do this all the time and can feel it. You can feel it. What the data says is if you got 5,000 houses, well, how many houses are selling each month? And based on the number of transactions each month, you do a little calculation there that says this is how many months it would take to buy up all that's on the market right now. And so if it's less, 2 months or less, then that is a seller's market because you put it on the market and it sells. If it's more than 4 months, it's a buyer's market because things are just languishing on the market.
Yes.
We're at 3.4. So we're just in. If I've seen this illustration before, if there were a pendulum swinging, we'd be right at the bottom.
That's wild because we don't compare notes before we do this.
Yeah, it's just what you feel, but the data backs up exactly what you feel. Of like it's kind of in that moving towards that 4 months of the being a buyer's market, but it's still just kind of in that middle, which you said it's kind of healthy.
Well, if you were looking at the pendulum, if we were going on that, the healthiest is right in the middle.
It's right in the middle. But I think this is all going to circle back to what you said was the title of the show, which is, hey, get comfortable, because we're kind of in a lull might be a strong word, but it's just kind of a comfortable, predictable-ish, kind of like you said, if things.
Oh, it's a lull. But what do you do in the lull?
What do you do in the lull? And it's the opportunity that, again, things are always changing.
Yeah.
War, geopolitical stuff, whatever. So, but the way things are looking right now, it looks like you said, towards the end of the year, things are going to be like this. So what are you going to do in this lull? What are you going to do to stay active? I'm in this comfortable time.
And I would not wait on the market to improve. I wouldn't sit here and think to myself, oh, this is going to change. That's kind of my topic, is everybody get comfortable and settled in. Like, don't look at this as if in 3 or 4 months, this is going to change. Right. We're going to see some kind of dramatic. So if you're sitting there and you're thinking about selling, oh, I'm going to wait till the first of the year. I don't think January is going to look any different than what it looks right now. I think if there is a change, it's going to be spring and summer of next year before we feel any kind of real change.
So do it now.
So do this now before it does get to where you're 5 months, 6 months of inventory. Then your buyers are going to come out here and get super sharky. I mean, they're going to get real aggressive.
Because that pendulum has swung to their favor.
Because it's swung to their favor. We're right in the middle of it now. Your data is actually proving that.
Yeah.
So there are deals to be had on both sides. If you're a seller and you have a marketable product, you're going to get market value. Now, we're going to talk about how to sell in the coming weeks on podcast about what to do with a listing. But
I think what you just said, I'm assuming, based on what I've heard from you, that there are those 3 types of properties. There's some burrable properties, there's some almost rent-ready properties, and then there's the occupied cash flowing properties.
Still working.
Working.
Everything is still, we've got all 3 on our closing board right now. So yes, all 3 of those properties are there. I can show you, in other words, I can show you a deal on all 3 of those strategies.
And what's interesting is that has been here for a while, and I kind of am inferring that maybe those are still going to be here.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of what I'm hearing you say is like, hey, pick your lane and run with it.
Yeah.
Because things are going to kind of be the same. So you can kind of refine your process for whichever of those avenues you want to take and just keep running that play, man. It's a sports analogy, but have you ever seen somebody like when something's working in sports, they keep doing it until it stops working.
I mean, they ran the wing T for 50 years. It's the most basic of offense.
Yep.
I mean, I go run it, but it works.
Just keep so if you got a play that works, just keep running. I think that's what you're saying. Figure out your play and run it.
I'm definitely saying this. If you're a buyer, buy.
Yes.
If you're a seller, let's sell. You don't need to sit here and wait and assume things are going to change in the next 6 to 9 months, because I don't believe that we've got any of that. I wrote down the new world order. I just feel like this is our new real estate market. I'm also still a believer in the zig when others zag. So, the first thing is everyone's getting comfortable, like to get comfortable and get settled in our market. Well, what do you do? Like how do you act? And I love the zig when others zag. And I used the analogy a couple of weeks ago, but it's like you go to the public pool at your country club, if you want to say, and it's a Saturday at noon. Well, there's 500 people swimming. It's 95 degrees outside, and there's 500 people there. Would you rather be in that pool, or would you rather go on another day when there's 3 or 4 people in their same pool? You want to go when you got a little bit, it's easier to swim. You can move around. You can enjoy yourself a little more. It's just a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. That's what we're in. That's what we're in right now. I would be involved in buying and selling. And I do want to address something. I had a comment on one of our reels and one of our posts, about how in their market, it was the worst time to get involved with real estate. Right. And I just want to preface any of that with this is the Investor's Guide to Memphis Real Estate. I want to make sure that I get that crystal clear for anyone that's listening and you can't find deals in your neighborhood or you can't find deals wherever you're living. What I'm talking about is Memphis, Tennessee. The title of the podcast, should give it away. But I want to make sure that we understand that we're talking about Memphis and the deals. And when I'm telling you to get busy and get active, I'm not telling you to get busy and get active in some other market that I'm not familiar with.
You're only familiar with Memphis.
I'm only familiar with Memphis and the surrounding areas. And what I'm telling you is if you're a buyer here, thought about buyer here, you should get comfortable with this market and you should get in here and find a deal. Because they are to be had. I mean,
there's opportunities.
I cannot tell you. I've got a $90,000 house that's occupied at $1,250 right now. I've got with a paying tenant on time. I've got a BRRRR strategy property now. I'm just sitting here thinking of deals that I sourced and sent out yesterday. We have got deals. So contrary to if you're listening and you're in another market and it's struggling and it's bad and you can't find anything that works, it could very well be true. I get that. I'm not experiencing that here. Okay. So that I definitely want to preface all that. So zig when others zag, that's my, I love the Warren Buffett comment that you talk about every time.
That be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. And it seems like people are a little fearful right now.
We're shifting to the fear. And I truthfully, if you're doing your research in Memphis, I'm unsure why, because there's deals here. So I don't know why you would be fearful here. I guess the overwhelming concern and the war and rate and all this other crap that's going on. So I get that part of it. But if you'll get down and stop macroing it and you'll micro it down into Memphis and look at what we're dealing with right here, you're going to see deals and tenants that pay rent.
And I think, just like you said, macro, I think they're short-term, long-term.
Yeah.
I think it's hard not to get sucked into just thinking short-term. Because if you're thinking long-term, if I just heard you, you said you have a house that's renting for $1,250.
Yeah.
Tenant paying on time.
Yes. 90 grand. The guy's listed about 95.
Buy it for 90 grand.
Now you're hearing what I'm saying, what I've been trying to talk about for the last 3 months.
Right.
It's like we have cash flowing way better than 1%. We have vacant homes that need minimal repairs. You can place your own tenant if that's your thing. And then I've got a BRRRR if you want to BRRRR it. So
that's a great example.
I've been doing, you've been buying way longer than I have. I've been buying since 15, selling this product since 11, and an agent for 25 years. I have never been in this kind of a market. We're not selling the most houses we've ever sold. So hear what I'm saying. We're not doing 50 a month, which we have.
Yep.
There's 3 products right now that are available that you can make a deal out of. And I don't usually see that. There's just usually a dominance with the rate or with the pricing or with whatever that you can't get all 3.
Yeah.
And you can right now because we're sitting here stagnant.
Yeah. And I think what you're saying right there, again, from my standpoint, with that specific example of that occupied cash flow house, is a short-term versus long-term. Anybody who's looking at this for the long-term says that's a deal.
Yes.
But if you get caught up in the short term, you lose sight of it. And it just I don't know what's going to happen with the rates. I don't know what's going to happen with the war. We're in midterm elections. There's just so much going on.
I don't care.
Long term, all that stuff is going to come to pass. All of this stuff has happened before.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
But if you're taking that long-term perspective, that's what this show is about: long-term buy and hold rentals.
And buyers are getting out of the arena to go watch the circus.
Right.
They're getting out to go watch all this crap that's going on.
And there's an opportunity.
And there's opportunity because they're getting out of the pool and now you can move around and do what you want and swim the backstroke the whole time or whatever you want to do.
Yes.
I mean, you can just take that analogy and run with it. So stick to your formula and strategy. Come in here and look aggressively, but don't. I want to also make sure I preface all this conversation with this. I'm not saying come in here and buy anything. I'm not saying come in here and be careless, and I'm not saying come in here and swing for the fences and hoping you're going to hit a grand slam every time. What I'm talking about is stick to your formula and strategy. Look for the deals and cash flow that makes sense to you because it's out there. And that to me, with getting in the pool and sticking with the swimming stroke you're used to, is kind of what I'm saying. If you're, stay with what you're doing. Don't try to reinvent the wheel right now. But if you are a burr, cash flowing, or a vacant and you want to place your own tenant, I've got you. And
I think kind of where I'm hearing that and thinking about that is like, hey, pick your lane, whichever one you want to do. Now is the time, A, that you got some choice, but B, that you can get really good at it if it does pan out that things don't really change much, because you can keep doing it. You can keep seeing those opportunities. You can refine your processes, refine your strategy, but get really good at something without it changing. Yeah. It's like, I was going to use another sports analogy, but it's just like if the baseball pitcher standing there and he keeps throwing you that same pitch, well, you can learn like how to hit that pitch. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to keep it's more like now it's more like you're in a batting cage and it's just coming at you the same way. Versus in real life, in most situations, that they're changing the pitches all the time.
You're getting them down the middle here. Just get up and hit it. I'm telling you. So I'm excited about what our market's bringing. Let's fill out that buyer profile. If you're listening now and you're wondering, how do I get these deals? How do I get sent opportunities like this? Send me an email, dean@CrestCore.com, or you can click on maybe the TikTok and YouTube channels. There's links on there where you can fill out the buyer profile. You don't even have to speak to me. Just fill it out, and I'll start sending you deals that are based on your criteria.
And just for your first timer listening to this, the buyer profile, it's a great way to customize what it is you want, what it is you want to look for. And the best part takes 7 questions, I can't remember. And it sends you, I call them Dean's Daily. These emails that come every day from Dean with properties that meet your criteria.
That I'm sourcing.
That you're sourcing. You're putting in your notes there. It's got everything you could want and then some. As an investor, I know that it's got everything you want. And you can just look at them. And
there's no pressure with that.
I just look at them and go, oh, okay. And just, this is coming down. This is the pitch. And hey, speaking of Warren Buffett, one of the great things Warren Buffett, he said about investing is it's a game where you won't get called out for watching the strikes come. Now you can strike out, but you're not going to get called out by watching strikes. So you just wait. Look at Dean's daily email until you see the one that you want to hit, or you want to swing at, and you can help him do that. So I love the buyer profile.
All of those things come to you daily. And again, I do pick out that information. I think that's key. I haven't trained anyone on the team. I do it. I spend about half my day actually doing that. So good stuff. If you have any questions, dean@crestcore.com. Anything else on this? Okay, guys, settle in. We'll see you soon.